Grant, Dania now.
It's Grant, Dania.
The gold lady this year. Oh my God, it's Grant, Dania.
And our mom, Chezzi Dania. She's really crazy.
It's all true.
It's All True, the podcast with Grant and Chezzi Dania.
Hello.
Hey.
It's bloody great to have you back.
I just realised at the end of that where it says Grant and Chezzi Dania,
Yeah.
we might need to have and George.
Oh, yeah. Why have we
Yeah.
left him out of it?
Or and large Sarge.
Can we not have this conversation while he's not looking at us right now, wondering why he's not on it?
Yeah. Well,
I
was
like
just-
it.
Yeah.
I like to be in the background kind of supporting you guys, though, and just cutting together bits and pieces and just making you guys look pretty, which isn't hard, by the way.
Making us look
very
pretty.
easy.
Well, I
You're
think
looking pretty
you've-
good with your big softy like this week. I know we covered it last week, but geez, your complexion, I don't know what's going on, whether you're just into the vitamin C or what, but it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's the big softy. And I looked back at a couple of episodes where we were speaking about how sperm is good for your complexion. And you put it over your face, it works. So
What are you doing?
I haven't
Just-
done that yet, but I might look at it.
You just
at some point.
Don't do it.
Random dudes just down in the toilets in the park? Like what's your method? Is it some
No, it'd probably be self-inflicted.
Yeah.
I'd say.
Oh, George is getting really good at hitting back your
I love it.
Your slaps.
I love it because you know what? We life is so boring.
Serious.
It's serious that sometimes it's just nice to speak shit. You know what I mean? If you watch the news, it's so formal, it's so bad, it's so depressing. Sometimes you got to just vent and get a little bit off your chest, like talking about George spoofing on his own face. You know what I mean? Like that's this is
But
good
on that
gear.
big softy, because it does make me look so good on Zoom meetings, and I've been using this in not only our recording sessions but also work meetings, and people are always commenting. Like, I feel like we need one just for everyday life, in front of your face, when you're face to face with people. They'll just be like,
So instead of like a selfie stick, you'll just have like this hat with a bar that comes off it with just the light shooting back on your own face, so you always look glamorous.
I think so. It's like you got your own personal lighting crew with you at all times.
Can we stop talking about Big Softy because they are not our sponsor? They have not paid a single cent.
I have just noticed that Grant has positioned the light straight onto him. It's not on me at all.
Why is that not my golden angelic halo glow?
No, I've just noticed that you've also half framed me out of the Zoom.
Oh,
Thank
I have
you.
to, actually.
Yeah.
That's right. There you go. Squeeze on over.
Okay.
Come on over. Come on over, baby.
So, okay. There's been some strange goings on. Quick, hit the scary sound effect.
Like what? What's been happening? Shez dog.
That was really seamless. Can you be ready with the sound effect?
All right, bloody hell.
So, for the past couple of weeks, whenever I've turned my head really quickly, or I feel like there's something with me.
Wow.
Yeah, like I feel like there's a presence, or there's a spirit or something that's I don't know.
Are you seeing it or are you feeling it?
I'm both.
Right. So what are you seeing?
I see things in my peripheral. So say I'm looking forward, I feel like something's moving off to the left.
Like the
you know,
far
in
extreme of your view where you
Thank
can't
you.
quite make anything out, but
Yeah.
something's there.
Something's there. I feel like sometimes I walk down the hallway and something is with me, and it's not a scary feeling. It's
Always in the same spot in the house?
no.
Okay.
No, but I just notice it, I think, when I walk down the hallway. I turn around sometimes thinking that one of the kids is with me.
Mm-hmm. And
You know how you can sense when somebody's kind of walking with you?
is it a guy behind you doing the windmill? Whoa, case closed.
Yeah, that is scary, let me tell you. No, look, I don't know. I feel as though something is trying to get in contact with us, and so much so that in the past couple of weeks random things have happened, and you have to agree.
Yeah.
Like, so we were looking at your video of you rehearsing Dancing with the Stars, like
Yeah,
some of your dances.
We record all of our rehearsals just so you can sort of go back through them and see if you point your toes, if you finish your arms, yada, yada, yada. So we record every single routine to just analyse them.
And we were looking back through some of them, and there's like tiny little lights
Sort of floating around in the frame
around Grant.
that you can't see in the flesh, but they're coming through on camera.
Yeah. And particularly, that's a big word to say when you don't have a pop thing on your microphone, particularly when you were doing that really powerful dance, that was very emotive.
Yeah.
There was, they're called orbs anyway.
And there's a belief that these orbs are the presence of spirits, either to guide you, to protect you, to look after you, or whatever their reason is.
Yeah.
But they were so pronounced.
Yeah.
And this was a pretty difficult week because it was a bit of a hard dance. It was an emotional one. We were talking about, particularly difficult topics. And yeah.
And you were struggling a lot.
Oh, yeah. I was battling to sort of get through that one. And then all of a sudden we're looking through our camera roll.
Yeah.
And there they are. Now, if you
And
Google orbs,
it's
mate,
not just one or two.
heaps
There's
of
a
people get 'em.
whole heap. Right. So that's just one thing. Then
Sorry,
we-
was it more pronounced in that particular dance, or was it?
yes. There seemed to be more of
Okay.
a presence during, those harder times.
Freaky.
But this is not something that is new to us either. Like we've
I'm very
lived
open to it.
in a couple of homes where we've had experiences. It used to be the bottom of the stairs in our apartment. We would see stuff in our peripheral when we were watching television. There was a definite change of feeling whenever you'd walk up or down the stairs, like you weren't alone. Almost
yeah, I
just a
did
little
feel that.
creepy, a little spooky that you felt like you were being watched. Just in that spot of the house. Then there was a period in which what is now our daughter's bedroom, Sundays, the kids would never walk past there alone. They felt something in there. And they'd always look in, even if it was dark, just to see as they sort of skipped past as quickly as they could. And I got to be honest, I felt it as well. But the front door, I've also had experiences of seeing things towards
Have
the
you?
front door, yeah. Because when we used to watch the television in this house, the front door is to my far, far 90-degree left.
Yeah.
And I'd go, what was that? And then you'd look and then you couldn't see anything.
There was nothing there. So the other thing that has been happening lately is random songs just appearing and playing on my phone, or
It just starts by itself? Or?
just starting up when I'm sitting in the car waiting for the kids and the car is turned off. A song just starts up on the radio or, through my phone. Really random songs and not songs that I would listen to.
So no songs that have any specific meaning to you?
I don't think so. But I've started to pick up on it a little bit. So I'm starting to, try and listen for lyrics and it's all just been happening and it's all just feeling a little bit strange.
We're not like mega weirdos, but
Well, you be the judge of that.
I don't think we are. But we've just had some experiences that were very hard to explain, but then also backed up by a different source.
Yeah.
Right. And so apparently ghosts are very good at using electronic means of trying to communicate with you.
Or spirit.
Spirits, yes. All
Yeah.
right. So that could be the flashing of the lights. That could be the turning on of music. Electromagnetic means is a common form of apparently communication between spirits and the people of this world. Do you believe in ghosts?
Ghosts.
I absolutely believe in ghosts.
This one
Go-
American.
I added an extra letter in there. Do you like
I
ghosts?
do. I've had a few experiences. I think I told you guys once back at the old studio when we did our
that's right.
podcast.
Yes.
I was recording a voiceover for an ad, and the way I would do it in the home studio was throw a doona over my head in the microphone.
Yeah.
And
That's how most of your activities are done, by the way.
Exactly. Yeah. I like to record it. And And I had, I was calling out for my parents or anyone in the house, whether anyone was there. No one was home. But then all of a sudden, someone tapped me through the doona, and I just leaped the doona off and like, oh my gosh, who was here? Nobody was there. They all arrived home 5 hours later. And on that day as well, my sister, Poppy, that's her name, and she had POPPY letters above her window. So I went to her room and I was like, Poppy, are you here? And one by one, the letters fell off. P-O-P-P-Y. No wind, no earthquake. I wasn't high. It was real.
Wow.
Oh my God.
That is cool.
Yeah,
And you
so-
do live up the road from a cemetery, didn't you then?
Yes.
That was, was
that a different story?
The house that we were in is actually 100 years old. And we had somebody who actually passed away in the kitchen of that cottage. So we think it might be that person playing tricks or letting us know that he's there.
So I'm feeling like really quite nervous at the moment because of those stories, because of what, Grant and I have been experiencing. The other day on my phone popped up this quite randomly, this girl's face who was just on Instagram when I was
just a
looking at
rando
it.
in your feed.
Just this girl, and I thought, oh, she looks really intriguing, so I just clicked on her, and she's called Australia's Cowgirl medium.
Wow.
Okay,
She only talks to dead cowgirls?
no, so she's from the country, and she's a cowgirl, and she talks to spirit, I guess. I don't really know her very well, but I reached out to her on Instagram and I thought that could be really interesting. And she came back to me and she said, I'd really like to do a mini reading, for you.
Wow.
And so I said, okay, I don't know even, what that means. And she said, I just channel some, some spirits. And so she did that yesterday. And it was crazy. You listened to it, didn't you?
Yeah.
Like there was things in there that...
She couldn't possibly know.
No, and she
No
said...
amount of Googling of us.
No, because they were private conversations. So I have been saying to Grant for the past couple of weeks, I said, there are birds flying into windows. I've had 15 since we moved back into our house. 15 in a couple of months.
And she had an explanation.
She said spirits, they're trying to contact you. And she said through birds and through songs.
We didn't tell her the birds have been flying in the window. She goes,
nobody else knows that
she
story.
goes, yeah, there's some spirits around you and they're trying to send you a message through birds and they're going as far as them slamming into the windows. And we're like, oh my
Like,
God, that's
oh
exactly
my
what's been
gosh.
happening.
And
Like
then-
like we've lived here now for so long. Like we'd be lucky to have one bird hit a window a year. And we've had like 15 in about a week.
I've had 15 in a couple of months. It's
Yeah.
like blows my mind. And then she also said that they're trying to communicate with you via songs. So, and again, nobody knows that because they're private conversations that Grant and I have had. So, so we're going to give her a call.
All right.
And she only did a mini reading. She said that she won't be able to remember any of that. But she said the same spirits usually try to come
All right,
through.
so we want to know who's with us, who's watching us, who's helping us, and what do
Yeah.
they want. And look, let's face it, one of our most successful podcast episodes ever was when we talked about ghost stories. Who doesn't love goddamn ghost stories?
Yeah.
It's the greatest. Everyone's had or knows someone who's had some kind of kooky ass experience that can't be explained. So let's get someone who can goddamn explain it.
Yeah.
What's her name?
No pressure. Tonia Reeves.
Tonia Reeves. All
Yeah.
right.
So I'm going to give her a call now. Tonia Reeves. She is Australia's Cowgirl medium.
No. Oh, there's a horse coming through. Hey.
Hello.
Tonia, hi. It's Chezzi, Grant, and George. We're recording our podcast, and we're super excited to have you.
Having fun, I can hear it.
How are you? It's Grant here. George is also with us. He helps us out
Hey,
with this
Tonia.
podcast.
G'day George. G'day Grant. How are we all?
Mate, we're so thankful that you've made the time to join us today.
Yeah,
Chezzi has told me all about you. I've heard the little 5-minute audio clip you sent through and it blew my mind.
Yeah.
So we thought,
Thank you.
I wonder if we could just do something, one-on-one with us right now, live as we're recording and just sort of see
Absolutely.
what happens.
Sounds great to me. Awesome.
And
Love it.
I was really pumped and I was super excited. And now all of a sudden I'm feeling really nervous. Does that happen normally?
Yes, it does. It's almost like when spirit come in or go to connect with us a little bit stronger, it can almost feel a little bit like nervous, anxiousness, heart racing a little bit.
Yes.
It's like a combination of, their energy, our energy, and meeting in the middle. So it's, very normal.
What do you require from us? How do you work? What's your system?
Okay, well, ordinarily what I would do is I'll bring in spirit. So pretty much they're always there waiting. So a little bit like today, they've already come in a little bit earlier today, which is not unusual. So then I say, you've got to wait till I'm live so I can share the information because otherwise I forget. I'm like, I just can't, remember it all. So I do tend to be pretty strict with them to say, hey, come back when I'm actually people can hear me rather than I've got to listen on my own and then try and do a recall, which I'm pretty shit at.
And do they respond to that kind of action from you?
They do. Yep.
You'd have to be pretty tough, I would imagine, because otherwise they would be kind of constantly saying to you, wouldn't they? Hey, can you tell my loved one? And
100%. You really do need to have. It's a little bit like, our human existence. It's creating the boundaries. So it's really not a lot different. It's more or less like, okay, now I'm on. Come in, connect in. And then afterwards, it's, shut that back down again and just, be human as well. So, it's the balance, 100%.
Why do you reckon you have this incredible skill? Why are you the chosen one?
Well, I believe we can all do it. And I just followed, the signs really. I know that sounds so corny, to step into this. And I did my first psychic development course at 40. So
wow.
I'm a great advocate to say anyone can really step into it. And if it's, I think if it's meant to be and, it's part of your life path, it will happen.
So maybe it's one of those things that we've just learnt. We had naturally as a child the gift to do it, but we sort of tune it out as we got older and we became more, rational, or what we thought was rational.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yes. And I think it's been bred out of us. I think if we went back, generations ago, it was a lot more common that everyone just, utilise their intuition. And I say everyone's got it. Like I haven't met anyone that doesn't have, either a really powerful sixth sense or doesn't, have that experience of saying, oh, that was a coincidence. My dad died and then all of a sudden, his favourite song came on randomly on the radio, or, I bumped into someone and we started talking and it was a conversation that I would have had with my dad. So, I think the more awake we are to it and alert to it, the more powerful they come in. So it's a little bit like we create that where we're open to it and go, okay, I'm open to connect with those that are around me. And then all of a sudden, you just really start to notice the signs, and they definitely give us all signs.
Wow.
Yeah, see,
they would have called you a witch in the 13th century and burnt you at the stake.
Yes.
Absolutely. I still have, I can't have anything tied around my neck, so I think I was hung up at some point.
Oh, really? Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, yeah.
We've had
Interesting.
something's going on in our house. So somebody is trying to contact us, or someone's trying to give us a message. And I said to Grant, I think that the message is for you. I said, I think that you're just ignoring all these signs and now they're getting frustrated. So they're coming to me and they just obviously think I'm a bit more perceptive, and they're like, birds are smashing into the windows. I mean, you probably don't even remember that you said that, but I nearly started crying because we have had 14 birds smash into window. 15.
Oh, wow.
It's 15. There was one this morning. 15 birds in the last couple of months. And
wow.
And even like your face just popped up on my feed on Instagram, and I just felt really drawn to contact you. So I feel like, and I'm getting like full goosebumps now, somebody is trying to get in contact with us.
Let's let you tell us.
Oh, yeah, good point.
Absolutely.
Instead of
Absolutely.
Chezzi talking, being the pretend paranormal expert, let's have the real one. What do you reckon? Are you feeling anything?
Yeah, 100%. And I know, like, I sent you guys a bit of a recording because it just tends to then, show you how I work and how it works, I suppose. And straight away, even before I'd sent that, I had a couple, and I felt grandparents on your side, Grant, that had come in and were very strongly around the two of you right now. And I do feel, it's not a case of that they're not around you, but there's something happening that they're really encouraging you right at this point in time to say yes to. And, I think I said in the reading, it's like, there's things happening and deals around and contracts, but of course, with winning Dancing with the Stars and all the rest of the things that you do, I don't need to be psychic to tell. Well, no one needs to be psychic to work that one out. But they are encouraging you. There's something, and to me, the way that they're both coming through, but they were more or less one with Chezzi and one with yourself. So it's kind of like this is a bit of a duo. This is something that you're doing together, and I almost feel like the way that they're coming through is like you two are so similar to what they would have been in life, like the way you two connect with each other, the way you both. I do feel like you finish sentences and, you two often, one will think it and then the other one says it. And I feel like, Grant, your grandparents were the same like that. And it was almost like, or you'd go to one grandparent and they'd tell you something, the other one would tell you their version as well. They didn't sort of necessarily speak to each other about it, but they shared that with you. And it's like they're really here to support and encourage for that. And I just feel like it's almost like beating to your own drum here for the two of you and really taking that next step and taking things to the next level. So I do feel like this is a passion. This is something quite grounded that they're showing me because they're very grounded themselves, and that means like down to earth. They're not, they're I would have said that actually they were intuitive in life, but they're not necessarily jumping up and down at the whole spiritual thing. So it's a little bit like they're like going, oh, okay, I get it now, but possibly would have been a bit like, hang on a minute. But I do feel there was also religion on one side. So there was something around, and I want to go to your grandfather with that, but it's like somebody had faith that, was something that was running in the background or was something that was that they were brought up with.
Yeah, they were very active in the church, in the community. They were really close. And
yes. Roy and
this
Una.
is Roy and Una, my grandparents, and they did a lot of raising me as a kid, particularly in all the school holidays. So I spent every school holiday with them for my entire life, and they were very protective of me and very wonderful supporters.
Yes, yeah, and it's like that's where they're at now. It's like they're around the two of you, and they were the first ones that came through, and I connected and said, okay, who's here? And it was like I had that they were standing there even before I started to connect for the reading, and it was like, okay, they're the important ones here that right at this point in time that are coming through with the messages. And I felt like there was animals around them as well. So it was like they wanted to let me know there's animals here up there with them, which I feel like were important. I'm not sure whether you guys have lost an animal recently or there's some pet up there.
That'd be their dog. Yeah, that was my dog that we gave to them. And yes, they looked after that dog forever, and they were very close. Both my grandfather and my dog both had one eye. And so,
oh wow!
Yeah, when they would pass each other in the hallway, they couldn't see each other. So it was a. But I'm wondering if they're telling me to do something or us to do something in like a passion project. I'm wondering if that because I'm currently debating as to whether I return to motorsport, right, which is my number one passion, and I'm very very hesitant, because of the impact it can have on my family. It is a little bit of a dangerous sport. I wonder if that's what they're referring to, or wondering if it's a TV career thing.
I feel like it's a motorsport, and it was funny because initially and even connecting yesterday, I was like, oh, motorsport's still around. I'm like, no, Grant can't do that, back and all that you've been through with it. I'm like, that's logically I'm thinking, oh my God, there's a lot of danger around that. But I feel that the motorsport is part of it. 100%.
Yeah, I think that's what makes me happy, and I've been holding off on it for a long time. And Chezzi's tired of me being a grumpy old prick, and she's like, "Get behind the steering wheel, so you become a decent person again."
And you're going to be inspiring others on that journey. So it's almost like, as much as you'll be stepping up yourself, there's also about bringing the younger generation up with that, and really connecting in. And I feel like, you'll be backing a couple of superstars there that really, at the early stages of it.
Okay, that's cool. I like that idea.
Yeah.
When we mention birds, is that a common form of communication from the dead to the living?
Absolutely. Birds, any kind of animal that, often I say to people, they're the really unusual ones. So, like, you might get up and see some magpies every morning. And, you might...
There's one outside our window every single day.
That looks straight in.
And he just looks at us.
Yeah, that's right. Well, see, that is a message. Whereas, say, if you were to just see a bunch every morning and not take a lot of notice, then I'd say, they're just coming to visit. But when they do things like look at you, or they'll tap at the window, or you might get something random come, like the example at the moment, we just had a bat in our house, which is still in our house. And I have no idea how it got there, and it's just sitting up in the top of we've got cathedral ceiling, so it's right up the top. And, he's come to visit. Now, that's, you don't get that every day. So I know that spirit, and, I know that's a big message for me.
Gee, I hope that's Bruce Wayne for you. That'd be so cool.
Batman.
Yeah, absolutely. I could do some Batman energy. Woohoo!
I want to know how to interpret these messages, because I do feel that a big part is, for us, a big part is Grant's grandfather and probably your grandmother saying, Grant, you're being too hard on yourself. I don't know how I know that, but I just feel that I always say feel it in my waters. I used to joke because I'm Scorpio and I felt like I rise with the tide.
Scorpio is very, very psychic. Like, you've got that water, which is a kind of ethereal. So it's a pretty powerful sign, and it's no wonder that you pick up on all these messages. That would be definitely, part of your destiny is about tuning in. So I'm not surprised with that at all. But I agree, birds. And you can actually look up, like, I'm not an expert on every individual one, but they all do pertain to a different message. But you can also look at a bird and say, okay, what does, if you look at, say, a magpie, what does, what comes to mind when you think of a magpie? Like, you've got black and white, you've got balance in there. They're a pretty tough kind of bird. So it's sort of like, pay attention. And I believe too with magpies there's something around opportunity. So that would make sense that your grandparents are saying, hey, time to take note of that. I do feel though, Grant, also there's other signs that they've been giving you that you may not be, that might be writing off, like we all do in our human experience. We say, oh, that's a coincidence, things that keep happening. And it's like they're showing you the way. So I just want to getting that a little bit clear in what they're showing me, because obviously, we know the birds are a big one, but they're showing me something's been delivered to you. So is there, I almost feel like mail or something, is there something that's, and I think mail is something that's old school, but have there been either things sent that either weren't for you or odd things that have been sent in the mail recently?
Odd things been sent in the mail. Well, I had all my suits sent back from Channel 10. Which was a big sign that I'm no longer going to work there again.
All right, wipe our hands of that one.
Yeah. I can't think of anything being delivered that shouldn't have been, but for some reason I keep thinking an email.
Yeah, it could be, but just what they're showing me is like mail, and it's almost like something. You'll probably have a look and find it afterwards, because sometimes when they show this, it might not be obvious straight away. But it's like they're showing me something gets delivered and you think, what the hell? I didn't even, this doesn't fit with me. but there's some message in that. So maybe have a look at emails, whether it's something that looks like, and I know we will get spam with, different things from here and there, but it's like there's something that just keeps sort of popping up. So it's almost like that's a bit of a sign with them.
Okay.
And they were also showing me something around property and movement. So I did feel like, I don't know whether, there's a weighing up of, I know I've seen Chezzi's videos, so you've got land around you, but I feel like there's something around weighing up property is what they're showing me.
That could be, we're sort of debating as to whether we're going to have to move back to Sydney to continue a media career or whether I just stay here. That's a debate that I'm constantly sort of having in my own head. But the one thing I know about these kind of experiences, even though it doesn't ring a bell straight away, inevitably, whatever you're saying is always going to pop up later on, and I go, that's exactly what she meant. Now I know. So even though I don't instantly register with it, I have enough faith to know that it will reveal itself in its own time.
Absolutely. Well, I see you definitely with the room around you. I don't see you going back to having neighbours right on your doorstep.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, that is good.
I hate people.
Yeah.
We don't hate people. We just like living on the land.
Bloody cowgirl psychic. She lives in the middle of nowhere. Medium, sorry.
That's right. I'd die if I had to have neighbours. So I'm hearing you.
Do you ever get animals coming through?
Yeah, absolutely. Animals are probably a big part of whenever I do a live show with readings. There's invariably always at least one animal that comes through.
Wow. So
animals are pretty much because I'm around them as well. I've got horses and all the rest of it. So animals do play a big part. What
does an animal want to say to a human on the other side?
Well, when you think about it, they're like our fur babies. So for some of the most powerful readings I've done has been when somebody's pets come through to say, hey, I'm still around, and bring a little bit of peace to that person, and, messages from beyond. And to me, animals embody the whole spiritual experience. Like, they're just so unconditional. Doesn't matter what you say to them or do. They come back and love you no matter what.
That's so beautiful.
I remember once we wondered why we had this little toy poodle that kept jumping up on the couch and then quickly getting back down again. We're like, why? If you want to get on the couch, why don't you just get up there and just stay up there? What's the problem? And it looked spooked or something. It would want to jump up, it'd jump up and then quickly just get down like it had got in trouble. And we're like, you can get up there, that's fine. And somebody stopped me somewhere and we had this experience where she said, that's your old dog, your dead dog, kicking the new dog off the couch. And
really?
It was still there, and it made so much sense when we saw it happen the next time. It's exactly like there was a dog there, or there is a dog there, a spirit dog, kicking the new new puppy off, saying this is my territory.
Wow.
Yes.
Does that mean if the spirit is still with you, does that mean that they haven't crossed over, or is it just their energy? Like, because I feel like somebody is with me all the time.
No, they're pretty much like they're never stuck. I don't agree with that. Like a lot of people say, oh, spirits get stuck. I've never met one that's stuck yet.
Yeah.
And they pass over, but then come back and hang out with us. They still are up there doing their thing and having fun and whatever else they want to do, but they will, come and connect with us quite regularly, especially when they've had a closeness in this lifetime. Yeah. But you also do have a guide that is with you all the time as well. So
is that an angel, or is that a relative, or is that just someone nominated to us?
Yeah, I feel like it's someone. We have someone from birth. I don't necessarily always think that someone that has been in past lives as families and that kind of thing. I just feel like there are guides there to help us on this journey and this lifetime that we're navigating now. And that's what I say to people. It's my number one thing is I encourage everyone, like, you've got this, this superpower that you can connect to at any time and get these messages and confirmation and really get those signs that you're on the right track or help you to navigate tricky things happening, So you want to, hey, why aren't we utilising that? And all it seems to take is to us. So, by spending time connecting with them, and I just say to people, even if you just sit there and say, hey, give me some signs and let me present yourself, show me, let me get a feel of what you feel like, who you might be, and, start to really create that dialogue. And then you will suddenly start to really get clear on your yeses in life, your no's, and, navigating just this life journey.
Wow. Can you give us something to look forward to? What do they say about the other side? Is it absolutely epic? Like, is it just full of champagne waterfalls and rainbows and bloody?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've been taken over there energetically a couple of times, and of course I haven't died, so I can't say that I've been there in that way. But the energy, and even when I connect with spirit, the energy is so much lighter over there. It's easier. It's a different feel to here. We kind of have that heaviness here in the human form, but in the spirit world, it really is. It's very light, and it's almost best way to describe it, I feel, is it's that unconditional. Like when your child's first born, and you just have that. You just look at them, and you have this feeling of just an unconditional love and connection, and that's probably the closest I can think of to describe it.
It's just like that all the time. Wow.
What
a state of bliss to just live in.
That just made me really teary.
Chezzi's crying now.
Yeah.
That just made me really teary.
So what's the purpose of it all then? If it's so good there at the end, why do we go through this bit? Are we just a spirit having a real world experience, and this is the path, just the mere path to there, or is this life the main goal?
I feel like we have many lifetimes in what I've been shown, and I feel like we're here to learn lessons. I really do feel strongly about that. There's things that we've come in here to learn about, and I do feel like, and you'll often hear people say as they get maybe older or closer to feeling like they're going to pass, you'll often hear them say, "Oh, I'm not coming back to learn that lesson."
Yes.
And you hear that a lot, and it's like, wow. To me, I'm like, they've got this. They know what they want to pass, having learnt, what it is they decided to come in to learn. Because I honestly feel we have a lot of things, or our life path is predestined. So I feel that we come in with a bit of a mission, and that's why some people are drawn to do certain things, or maybe have that push to really follow what it is they feel really drawn to do. And I encourage everyone to do that, because and I think if we look at it, even with COVID the last, couple of years, with everything being held back, I think the benefit of that has been we've all started to realise that ultimately we come into this world as a soul, and the only really thing we take out is what we evolve with through our lifetime, or what we gain through this lifetime is what we take away. It's not about any external things. It's about going, okay, I'm going to gain some knowledge. I want to learn things. I want to have fun. I want to learn experiences, or whatever it is. So I think the more we honour that, the better life is.
So we're all having these experiences to ensure that we get better with every life cycle if we have a number of different lives. So basically it's about humanity leveling up, improving every time it comes around again, and just getting better and better and better. So am I right in saying that?
Yeah, I do. I reckon you've nailed that. Like and it makes sense, because ultimately, otherwise, if we come and we don't gain a lot through this lifetime, what is the purpose?
Mm. Yeah, that makes
come back and do it again.
Yeah, does make a lot of sense. So you'd have a lot of hope for humanity in the future, then, I would think, if we're constantly slowly improving.
Absolutely. I honestly do. I feel like we're evolving, and yes, we make mistakes, but that's part of the human existence. And I think we all stuff up, we all make mistakes. I think the biggest thing is we're hard on ourselves, and I think if that's one lesson we can learn is to not be as hard on ourselves and be kind. We're kind to everybody else, but we do tend to be the hardest on ourselves. And when you think about it, that doesn't make a lot of sense.
And on that note, that is exactly what I felt somebody was trying to tell you, Grant.
Yeah.
Because your self-talk is...
Is there anybody talking to you right now? They're saying it, or have they? Do they follow this podcast?
yeah, it's time to bring in the fun, Grant. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I know you have fun, and I love, I absolutely love watching you, Dance with the Stars, like that whole, the essence. And, when you get into that, you can just see the essence of you is just amazing. And, it is important to get that balance and go, you know what, ultimately you give so much to everybody else and everyone gains so much just watching you, but what fills your cup up as well and what feeds your soul the most. And I feel like that's the encouragement. And it's like you said, your grandparents have always been like that for you, when they were here in life. So it makes sense that they're there now pushing you to say what fills your cup up, because it's time for that.
Yeah, I'm definitely in that place where I'm asking myself those questions, and I've been quite direct in sort of asking those who have passed, like my grandparents and my uncle as well, if this is something that I should do. And then the moment I think that, I see a symbol, maybe of the type of car that I'm going to race just happens to drive past me right at that time.
Yeah.
That's happening left, right and centre, like constantly. Can I ask a question about George?
Oh, no.
Can dead people see him masturbate?
They're all seeing and all knowing, but trust me, that's not their focus.
Oh, my God.
Thank goodness.
Go for it, George. Go for it, George.
George's
Do your
face
worst.
is so white. Oh, poor George. Look, he's really...
Let's just face it, that's the only thing he's come on here to learn. Like, is anyone else seeing him doing his nasty stuff?
Stop it.
Because I've put 5 Doonas over me in case they can see.
That means, Grant, that you are, just firing back here, you don't like anybody seeing you when you do a poo.
No, I can't have...
So you've got an audience.
Oh, God damn it.
3 daughters.
Do you know what? When I'm sitting on the toilet, this is no joke, I often go, I wonder if they're looking down at me right now, and what do I look like from this angle? This is not how I want my, those that have passed to be viewing me right now. It's not high on their priority list, though, is it?
No.
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. And
At least
you
they can't
look at it,
smell.
no judgment from over there.
I would hope that that's one of the benefits of having crossed over is there's no longer any judgment.
Tonia, you
Absolutely.
also the other day there was a few people, what do you call them? Spirits trying to come through.
Yeah.
There was somebody else who was trying to come through with another message for Grant. I've noticed.
Yeah. Now was that with the racing, the chap that came through?
Yeah.
I
Is
think
he around
to
today?
use your words, it was someone who sort of hangs there like in the garage, always been supportive, sort of behind the scenes.
Yeah.
He came through the other day, and he sort of semi-recently sort of passed in the last...
We believe that it's Uncle Wayne.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you kind of you said that you thought it was a heart that kind of gave way, and
Which is what happened. You also pointed out that there's a picture of him near our trophies, which there is.
yeah.
Oh, awesome. Yep. Awesome. So that would be who that. Yeah, because it was like he wasn't hanging around too much behind your grandparents to come through. It was like he was like zooming in to, hey, I'm part of this as well. And, and just the fact of, even with the cars, it's like, and, the fact that you just shared earlier about that being something you're looking at, it's like from the other side, they're really egging you on with that. With your uncle, let me see, does somebody share his name, or is there a middle name? He's just showing me something around a name. So somebody connected with him as in his name being handed down in the family? Can I ask?
Wayne, I don't even know
I
what his
don't know
middle
what his
name
middle name is. But it would be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So anyway, all right. So
It
he's giving me a bit of information here. Bit of a character, and I think that's what came to you too. Didn't talk for the sake of talking. Does that resonate as well with him?
Yeah.
It was always a bit of a loner, like just a wonderful, carefree drifter of a spirit.
Yeah.
But would prefer to be away from people than with
And
people.
loved books and animals. Yeah.
Wow. And was quite happy in the background, because it's like that's how he came through, like sitting there and almost like he encouraged you. Now, did he, when you were racing, was he there, did he used to like critique or stir you up a bit, Grant? Because I feel like he's coming through going, he's sort of not do this, or like there was something around a bit of advice on that.
Yeah.
He was always in the garage, and if I just got out of the car or something had gone well, he'd support it. Or if something got bad, he'd sort of let me know. Yeah.
And he called you Grunt.
Yeah, he called me Grunter.
And he used to say winner, winner, chicken dinner, which is...
Oh, right. He did, yeah, because when I said that to you, I'm like going, and this was, Grant, when you were about to win Dancing with the Stars, or it might have been afterwards, and we would chat. I'd message and said, you know, winner, winner, chicken dinner. And I'm like, I don't even say that. So I always know that's when spirit come in, because, like, it's funny, people say it, but it was like, as soon as I said it, I'm like, that's relevant. Someone's come through with that.
That's funny. Yeah, I used to get texts from him saying winner, winner, chicken dinner if he wasn't at the race, but I'd won the race. So that was the message we get. And he was obviously trying to let me know that everything was going to turn out okay for Dancing with the Stars. It must be a wonderful privilege that you can give people...
Wayne
is he still
still
going?
want to...
Sorry, Wayne, are you still there? Hello, Wayne. Come on in, caller.
I know you've got 1,000
Chezzi wants
questions.
the details here.
Yeah, is there any... I don't want to miss any messages for you, Grant.
Yeah,
because we need
absolutely.
to save a few more birds' lives.
Oh, sure. They're not dying. It's
I
not
don't
like
know
we've
where
got
they
15
go,
dead
but
people at the bottom of the window.
Yeah, but you need to just
No.
Okay, I'll sit in the moment. Sorry.
just sit in the moment.
When they have to smash into windows, that is really going, come on, wake up here, because you are not listening.
Yeah, they started
especially
smashing into
having
my
that many.
car as well, and I was like, we are not listening here.
Yeah, we both. I hit a bird again just the other day, so it's happening frequently. So, what are you saying I need to do to open myself up to these messaging? Is just be aware and open to it.
Absolutely, and I feel like, you know, just from what you've shared, you are open to these messages. But I feel like just in connecting and having them around, that there's something that someone hasn't quite done the maths on yet, is what I want to say. So it's like there's something in the pipeline, and again, this might be something that doesn't make sense right now, but it's like there's something hovering on a decision, and it's almost like they're like, it's a definite yes, but you might not have committed yet, or you might be holding off, or there might be something that's creating a bit of a hold up. But it's like they're like, yes, you need to be saying yes to this. It's like, that's what I feel like with the thing smashing.
What do you
it's
think?
Like time to say yes.
What do you think that is, Shez?
Oh, I just think that you were questioning, you know, do you stay in TV? We're bearing a lot here.
Yeah, that is.
You've been questioning it. You have been, because you're not feeling as fulfilled, and TV's dried up a lot.
The buzz that I used to get from it, it's probably not as strong as it was, and plus, you know, TV's quietened down a lot. So I'm just debating as to whether I just say goodbye to it altogether and do something else or not.
Yeah, has anyone approached you? This is interesting. Has anyone approached you about doing a? And this is so interesting, because this came to me the other day after I'd finished connecting for you guys. I'd watched Erebus had their video, like it was a series that they did with the race team,
like a behind the scenes kind of
behind the scenes. Yeah. Has anyone approached you about something like that? Because I just feel like this is where the car's coming in, and I feel like there's something around, people love things that are real and live. I just feel like there's something around videoing as well.
It's funny. I've been thinking about that a little bit. Osher Ginsberg was the first person to say it to me. He goes, bro, you need to go on and make one of those shows behind the scenes for supercars, because I just kind of, I guess I'd moved away from making V8 supercar television, but I'm watching the Formula One Drive to Survive series on Netflix at the moment, going, that kind of treatment, but for Australian supercars, would be incredible. But no one's formally done that yet, but you are the second person to now raise that, and maybe...
Awesome. It's happening. So there's something around, and it might be... I feel a little bit with the birds. It's almost like that switch needed to be turned on for that, and I feel like now that will then.
Oh no, I've got it.
It's something you're thinking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I just had an email from the head of Channel 7 Sport saying he's bored by the telecasts. He doesn't like facts and figures. He doesn't want to hear about shock absorbers or aerodynamics. He wants humanity, personal stories. Like he wants to switch the coverage up to make it more about the people, and that was his own words to me literally 2 or 3 days ago.
Perfect. Yeah.
Wow.
So that's where it's going. So it's a combination still of, you're awesome on telly and highly regarded. So I don't see you actually, ditching that totally, but it's like combining your passion for the cars, the V8s, get behind the wheel, showcasing, your talent. And it's funny, my kids got to meet you at a V8 supercar. It was a Winton, I think about 12 years ago. And I have somewhere got a photo of the kids.
Oh, that's so cute.
That would have been when you first came back after breaking your back.
Would it have been? When?
At Winton.
When did you say?
12 years ago.
I reckon it would be about 10 years ago because my kids now are all over 18 and they would have been probably 7 and maybe even a little bit, there or thereabouts. Yeah. But it was definitely Winton.
Oh, wow. Were they taller than me if they were 7?
Not quite, but my daughter was about the same height.
I don't know if this is the same year, but my first ever supercar round win was there.
Wow.
God, Winton used to be bloody freezing.
Yeah.
Like a blizzard.
I remember wearing Ugg boots one time, walking around the track.
You'd actually fit in there.
I did. I loved it. It was amazing. It was so good.
They love it. It's a great bogan atmosphere, which I love. My partner is a mad supercar fan. Like he's Ford through and through. It has to have the Ford logo. But so we often try and get to some of the races.
I think that's why we've sort of somehow connected.
Makes so much sense why they've put you in front. It's like,
Absolutely.
So maybe...
And I have to say, watching Betty's, that was an amazing series. And from a chick's point of view, I was like, that's where I first, came across Anton. And I was like, I said to my partner, he has to go to Ford now because then I'll be allowed to follow him.
I think those kind of TV specials tend to, I think, help a new generation of fans fall in love with the sport, because I think the sport has kind of got so technical and a bit so clicky, and you have to be a sort of super fan to understand what they're talking about, but that only preaches to the converted. That doesn't discover a whole new generation of fan. And I think what you're saying, is right.
Yeah. I'm excited by that to me, and it's like I feel like your spiritual team are excited. It's like, yes, because I feel a sense of relief. So I feel like they're going, oh, thank God he's got that. He's worked that one out.
Yeah! We've had a breakthrough. Hey, you want to ask a question? I'm loving this chat so much, by the way.
Grant's just settled right in. No, I want to know, is there anybody else that's around trying to give Grant messages? Because they're clearly all trying to give you messages.
Yeah, but don't forget you, Chezzi. Like you're the important one behind the scenes here. So you're not going to be forgotten either.
Do you know what? I have a lucky car. It's a Nissan 350Z. It's really random, but I read the number plates when I drive past it, and if I've seen number plates saying yes. And I say to Grant,
I love it.
We need to sell, we sold our apartment in Sydney.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. I was trying to think what the situation was.
We're driving past and I was like, please give me a sign. And there was a Nissan 350Z on the right-hand side of the road with number plates, yes. Yep. And I said, yep, we sell. And we did.
And to give you an idea, this pops up a lot in her life. So if ever we're lost on the road and we see a 350Z, we'll just follow it.
And they're not that common.
No.
And it's random that it's that car. And before Grant won the gold Logie, I was in being fitted for my dress. That's so true, isn't it? I was being fitted for my dress at the dressmakers in Balmain, and outside each time I went for the dress fitting was parked on the side of the road was a gold 350Z, and I said to the dressmaker, Grant's going to win the gold Logie. Cue the sound effects.
Love it.
And she was like, how do you know? I said, because of that car out there, and he won the gold Logie. The same thing happened the day that you danced your grand final dance for Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah.
It was a sinking. I was driving past a park. There was a Nissan 350Z parked out the front of the park, and on the radio they just mentioned that it was Bruno Mars's birthday.
And that's what I was dancing to, Bruno Mars.
And I was
track.
like, oh, he's going to win Dancing with the Stars.
So
I just know it.
Can what Chezzi experience be a common thing for a lot of people?
Absolutely, and that's what I get exactly the same, Chezzi, 100%. It's looking at those things and acknowledging. The more that we acknowledge and say, yes, that's a sign, and then it comes, to fruition. So it proves that it is correct. The more we follow that, the more signs we get.
Yeah, so that's why I feel like I don't need to dominate this chat talking to people about me, because I feel like I connect to.
You're already doing that.
Yeah, I do. But I feel like we need to allow anyone who wants to connect with you, Grant, because you're not.
Let's be honest.
listening.
This is an intervention, and what Chezzi is doing. This is a podcast which is effectively
Help
a
me.
smack over the back of the head, saying, "Wake up! There's people trying to goddamn help you. Just tune in, GD."
Yes, that's exactly it. So
Absolutely.
Is
Is
there-
there a friend also that's passed? Let me have a look. There's another mail coming through. Just like there's a lot of mails coming through. Now, Grant, also want to go to see. Is your mum still here? Because there's a question mark around mum.
Yeah, she's still.
she's still here.
She's still
but
here.
Yeah, that's right.
her
Yeah,
partner,
yeah.
Her partner passed
away.
a
Okay.
couple of years ago.
Coggy, Noel. Yeah.
All righty. Let me see. I'll just see who this is because I felt like he's not related. So we're talking, which could possibly be him. Oh, someone who liked to party a bit. And I feel like he's taken me back to the younger days.
Oh, my God,
Grant.
it's him. He loved the 60s.
Yeah,
He loved the 60s.
It's definitely
Noel.
him.
And he played a guitar and drums in a band, and he...
What's he want to say?
Awesome, because it's like, he's still partying up there, I want to say. Did he used to either spiky drinks or something? Like, I feel like because he's a bit of a character, but it's like he's showing me, or he sort of tipped different things in, you'd be like, what the hell am I drinking? Because I don't know what he was creating, but it's like he's taken me back to, but it's like I'm in the party mode. So... Because it's like he's referring to, Grant, this is going back a while. So I don't know whether you don't, obviously as we get older, we don't party like we did back when we were, but then in saying that, some of us can still party at, whatever age, but I do feel like he's going back to the good old days.
I think when we first sort of
hangover.
met, he would.
We had a couple of drinks and we played the, what was that, Guitar Hero, and
he kept
making our drinks
kept filling all our drinks up, so because he could see that my mum was having a wonderful time, and he just liked everybody to be happy.
Yeah, and he used to say,
absolutely,
that's grouse all the time.
That's so cool. It's like he has a real reverence for you, and it's almost like the way he's coming through, he feels that it was an honour to, even though he wasn't your dad as such, he felt honoured that you allowed him to, it wasn't that he tried to play, or from his version, it's not like I tried to take over to be dad, but he was really honoured that you allowed him to come in and be part of a family like you did. And I do feel like he's showing me also, I don't know whether one of the boys, he's saying boys, really struggled, but you kind of talked him around and said, he's okay, this one's all right. And I do feel with that, I don't know whether mum had others along the way that weren't so great, whereas you really resonated with him, and it's like he wants to say thank you for that. I do feel that
he was,
you really took him in.
Yeah, he was very, very special. Mum had a tough run since my mum and dad had separated, and she didn't really want to date too much while we were being raised. She thought that might be just a bit much for the kids.
Yep.
So she sort of sacrificed a lot of her own happiness, and then he came along, and they were childhood sweethearts, and they sort of reconnected really late in life again, and then it was the best thing that ever happened to Mum. Like, he was just so supportive, and they were perfect yin and yang. They balanced each other really well, and it was the happiest Mum had ever been. And unfortunately, he got the big C, and
we passed away,
and we lost him. But I often pray and hope that he's there looking down, on my mum, and I feel he is.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. And I feel like your mum connects with him in her own way, and it's almost like he's showing me the night, or I don't know whether she walks outside and there's a connection to stars and things, or she has a chat with him of a night time. But I feel like he's referring to, she talks to me of a night time. He's telling me that. So he's aware of that.
And the stars, and that's what she told the grandkids.
They had an agreement that that when he would pass, whenever it was lightning, that he wanted Mum to tell the little kids that was him just changing God's light bulbs.
Yeah.
Because he was an electrician.
Yeah.
I love it. Has your mum got him with her? Because I feel like there's a reference to him being around her.
His ashes, maybe?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is he sitting on the mantelpiece or he's sitting somewhere?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Because he's telling me, he's just showing me. I feel like I've got I'm not in an urn, but obviously there's ashes in a special spot. And but I do feel like he plays tricks on Mum a little bit. So it's like his sense of humour comes through. But it's almost like he's showing me the ashes are fine, but he's kind of laughing. Is somebody a little bit klutzy? Is that you, Grant? He's just like, God, I hope no one knocks me over. I don't feel like he's teetering, but it's like his sense of humour's coming, going, I hope I don't get knocked over.
Oh, that's probably your mum's sense of humour.
No,
too.
would it be that, or would it be the lady that Mum lives with? Would it be Erica?
I don't know.
I just feel like he's just having a giggle.
Yeah, right.
Having a giggle, going, I don't want to be spilled over the carpet.
Does he have a message at all for Mum?
He's okay. He waited a long time for her, just as you shared earlier. He feels really honoured about that. Yeah, does Mum live by the water, can I ask? Because I feel like he's showing me he writes messages in the sand. But in saying that, I feel like...
they moved to Queensland.
They're on the Gold Coast.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. There's something about messages in the sand. So I do feel like Mum needs to hear that. So she might go for a walk along the beach and there's messages. So, it's like whether somebody's put a message down and then she sees it or she's aware of it. I feel like if you haven't heard that, to ask her, because there's something around messages. He does, what else was he showing me? He also connects around her, like he's showing me that it's almost that she would feel like he's giving her a hug. And he's also showing me he connects to her in her dreams. So I feel like she had that conversation with you, because I feel like he's saying that she knows that already. I'm just sharing that, and I don't know whether she's told you that, but it's like he's saying I visit her in her dreams, and that's a common one that can come through, and she would wake up feeling like she's reconnected again with him. And it's not that he's far away. He loves your mum, and I do feel like he loves annoying her.
He really does, because he's really easy to annoy, and it's so much fun.
Yeah.
He's right.
Yeah.
That just made me really teary.
He's still doing that. He's still doing that in the spirit world. So, it's like, just remind Mum that those annoying things are often him coming through going, I might just make the picture frames go on an angle, and I might just things like that.
It's perfect, because she's so fastidious and OCD about her house. That is exactly how we would get her. Oh, that's brilliant. And it's so nice to know that he can hear those chats that she's having with him at night time. That'll be very I can't wait to pass that message on.
That's beautiful. And that's, it's a big part of when they come through with messages to just let you know that they're still around. And there's always that evidence to say, hey, I'm letting you know that I'm still here.
What's it like, we're going to wrap up now, but just the amount of joy that you would bring to people's lives right at a moment when they need it the most. What a privilege.
Yeah.
It absolutely is. There's not one part of what I do where I don't feel, absolutely honoured to be able to connect, to be able to connect people with their loved ones. And I just get so much joy from it. And, and sometimes it can be hard, there's the other week I had a young boy that came through that had passed through suicide. So that gets, that's a whole nother thing. But I never veer away from the fact that the peace that person and the spirit world, they want us to sense them around. They want us to know that this isn't the end, that there is there is that continuation of yes, we're not in the physical, they're not in the physical world with us, but they're still around us. And, you know, the relationship hasn't ended. It's just they've, you know, moved on to a different room. But, yeah, I absolutely always either, you know, I love what I do, and I feel really blessed that I get to do it.
So you find that someone who may have committed suicide, they often come back to say that I'm okay now. I'm no longer in
100%.
pain.
Somebody came through for
100%.
you, Grant, that had, I think.
Yeah, this is in the reading the other day, but I couldn't quite
You
place
might
it.
not remember it, Tonia.
I can't remember that one.
Yeah, but I remember somebody was trying to come through to Grant as well. It was a male who you said that it was around racing as well.
Okay.
And
oh, wow.
yeah, it was somebody who they came back and they wanted to say that they were sorry. And there was, you know, they had kids and.
I'd lost
yes. Yes,
I'd lost
vaguely.
my,
I do.
My engineer, to
Wow.
to suicide, and and
you
that
thought
was at the
maybe it
time.
might have been him.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the thing is, it's not uncommon for most people to either know of somebody or have had that experience through connecting, you know. And I always say with suicide, you know, it really is about peace. It's about, you know, the turmoil that they experience. And often when they show that to me and say, you know, they just couldn't keep fighting. And for the most part, they've fought like that for most of their life before they do make that decision. And I always say they make that decision to go home, you know, and they go home to where it's peace, to where, you know, it is easier in the spirit world. And they often will come through. You know, they don't always have that realization of how the hurt that with those that are left behind, and they don't, you know, they really don't do it to really create that sadness, and you know, that there's not many of them that don't come through with that thing of guilt around that, but they want their loved ones to know that they are way better now, they're happier, and you know, that they do have that sense of peace that they didn't have here on earth.
Wow.
That's
Tonia,
wonderfully powerful.
if people want to get in contact with you, how would they do that? Do they just look you up on you know, your website and contact you?
Give yourself a plug.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. The cowgirlmedium.com is my website. I will be at Brisbane MBS on the main stage for the Friday and Saturday. So I do present at the MBS festivals at Brisbane. I think then Sydney will be after that. But shows and festivals throughout Australia, I do, you know, put my hand up, of course, when it's not COVID. So, but you can jump on all my socials, Australia's Cowgirl Medium, and, you know, I post there on what's coming up, and on my website you can ring up. Oh God, you can ring up, you can dial up. You can jump on my website. I've got appointments there available. So, you know, by all means, please connect if you feel drawn to me. And I really feel like there's you know, that's what I'm passionate about, is when people connect for a reading, it's really important to connect to who you're drawn to.
You want to go final question?
Yeah. Well, no.
Okay, what?
Well, it's not a final question, but I was just going to say, if we do a live podcast show, can we get you to come and do some
Absolutely.
readings? Yeah, because that's
I would
what
love
we're pitching.
Oh, mate, that'd
I said
all right.
pitching, not bitching.
We'll
there,
keep that
but,
in mind. That could be an awesome addition.
Yeah. What were you going to say?
I would love that. Chez, and I'll get you beside me going, come on, let's do Chez's input as well.
Yeah, great.
Well, is there anybody who wants to say anything to me before
no one
you go?
cares about you. No one. 0.
No, I just thought because it would be remiss of me.
That's right. Well, like you say, you do connect regularly to most of them.
Yeah.
And you know, but in saying that also, there I've got okay, let me see for you. I've got a lady here who, it's like there's no show without punch. So I feel like it'd be remiss not to include her, and I feel a little bit like that's why you had to ask that question, because while she's like waiting in the wings.
That's why the word remiss came to me. Yeah, that's what. So who is that?
Okay, so let's find out a bit about her. She passed before her time, so this is somebody that Okay, let me have a look. Oh, how did she pass? All right, she was on. There was something around illness with her, so I don't feel like this was something that was sudden. And I almost feel like with that, she's showing me that she came good. She was unwell. She came good, and it looked like things would be okay. But then they took a turn, and she went downhill. Just trying to work out whether I've got an auntie or whether she felt. I feel like she was a little bit older than you. Is the feeling that I get from her. Don't necessarily feel like she's a peer, someone around your age. But in saying that, all right. She had a bit of a nickname, and I almost wanted to go to something fluffy, but what's she showing me? Dancing. All right, she's dancing, but she doesn't dance normally. She dances a little bit weird is what I want to say. When I say weird, like...
Well, that does sound like a relative.
Like
Definitely related to Chezzi.
yeah, it's like, that's the way I dance too. So I'm like going, but she thinks she's got the moves. Like, she's pretty happy that she's got the moves. Okay, is there an auntie that you were really close to? I feel like there's definitely, she was close to you.
I don't know enough of your family to even help
But
you
like,
out.
This is somebody that you had, so she's bringing up fun times and even dressing up a little bit. So
could it be my grandmother?
Yeah, that's what I reckon.
It could be. She could be coming through younger, which sometimes they can do to be a bit confusing.
She used to always dye her hair. She didn't like having grey hair because she was young.
Okay.
Yeah, and she used to cheat at card games, but
it's like there's an essence of her in you is what she wants to come across. And that's why there's no show without punch. So I do feel like with her personality, it would have been all like she's fairly out there, like as in, wouldn't miss out on a party, would be a bit of the life of the party. So it's like, she's like, yay, I'm here. I almost feel like she's running into a room going, I'm here, the party's ready to start now. And it's like, I've got my wine. Okay, there's something that she drinks that's a bit odd. Like I felt like I've got wine, but maybe it's sherry. Like it's something a little bit
sherry.
She loved the sherry.
Just a little bit weird, like weird in this day and age. I want to say, because I've got one of those, the Bohemian crystal glass that's kind of like a bit, older looking.
Yep.
But I feel like she would hold it in her hand. And I'd be tipping a bit over people as I'm walking down the street. So I do feel like she didn't mind a drink or 6 or 10 maybe.
Oh, yeah, that does. That
like it's
definitely.
exactly you. Are you sure there's not a twin that was born, like it didn't survive?
She might be
birth?
channeling. She might be your best ticket out. Like when you have a few drinks, look, I'm just channeling, my relatives. Hey, no responsibility here.
Absolutely.
It's not me. They're coming through in the spirit world, drinking spirits.
That's right.
It's just how it works.
Spilling the red wine everywhere. That does sound like me, doesn't it?
Yep.
Is she trying to say something to me? Like maybe stop drinking so much? Or?
No, she wouldn't be saying that.
No.
She's like, go for it, girl. Like,
eat more pork.
Fall over and do whatever you need to do. She doesn't mind at all. In fact, I think she liked that because it's entertaining for her. Are you the only one in the family that's kept up that tradition? Because I feel like she's like it's a bit quiet on the home front otherwise. Like everyone else is a bit boring.
Yes.
Yeah, your sister's very, very straight and you're a little bit looser.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she used to always say to me, if it's my grandmother, who I think it is, who would be, she used to always say to me, your dad, he's such a rat, but he's my favourite. Yeah, because my dad was a bit like me.
Yeah. I don't know if you heard that. You're a bit soft then.
Oh, sorry.
So, she
used to always whisper and say, things like, your dad, he's such a rat, but, he's my favourite.
So she likes the naughty ones.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what it is around you. And I do feel like she connects. Okay, I feel like part of her coming in is she connects to the girls as well. So this is not just about you. This is about your daughters.
We named Sunday's middle name is Mary after her.
Yeah, awesome. But I also feel like she connects. So it's almost like one of your daughters would have a conversation with her and possibly say to you, oh, there's a familiarity with her.
Wow.
Did they not get to meet her? Because I feel like
No.
what she's showing me. Yes. So it's like one of them has resonance to her. So whether it's seeing her photo and saying, "Oh yeah, that's Nana," talks about her as if they knew her.
They
but
knew
in
her.
actual fact, that's her.
Oh,
So they did they?
We'll get the photos out.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. and
Yeah, get the photo because what she's showing me is one of them. Okay, it's like one of them's connected to the energy of her, but can share more information than what she would have, say, remembered when she was here.
Wow.
That's what she's showing me. So, and your girls are pretty tuned in. Like they're quite sensitive souls. But I do want to say, was that true with the reading? Is it the middle one?
Our eldest one, Sailor, she used to see ghosts all the time, and she says to us all the time she loves crystals, and she's like, I feel like today's going to be a really good day. I just have a feeling. And then she
awesome.
Yeah, she thinks that she has healing hands, which is really cute because she puts her hands and it's almost like she's trying to do Reiki. She doesn't quite understand
That's fantastic. Yeah. Yeah, good on her. And I mean, that's so cool. And that's what I feel like, because it's like she's showing me one of them speaks to her and is quite fluently conversing with her.
Wow.
So I would feel like that child would go, "Oh, yeah, I had a chat," like it would relate talking to her as if she's still around.
Oh, that's cool.
Wow.
That's
Well, that
really cool.
I wonder, that could also...
Yes.
Sunday, our baby has been waving at...
Something in the corner.
Something in the corner. Yeah.
There's
Well,
no
that
one
wouldn't be
there, but
surprising.
her face
Yeah.
illuminates like someone is there. It's the exact same reaction as if a person walks in the room, but
And
there's no
she
one
says
there.
Nana.
Oh, Nen.
that's
She says
so
Nen.
weird. Yes.
Oh my God, she does.
There you go.
That's so weird because we'd never said Nen. But I used to call her
this is what-
Nanny.
Is there a second
Yeah,
word?
this is what she's showing me, is that this child wouldn't have had, and wouldn't have not know her.
Oh my God.
or, that
That's why she calls me Nanny.
She calls you Nanny, yeah. Like,
And we were like, "Stop, it's Mummy." And I was getting really upset why she's calling me Nanny. And she,
Nanny, oh my God, and that would be so your nanny going, "Yes,
yes.
oh Nanny,
she said Nanny before Mummy. Ha ha ha.
yeah, absolutely." Up there going, "Yep."
Oh my gosh.
I
that
love
is
it.
Like,
That's
giving me
cool.
the biggest goosebumps.
I'll have to put a photo in front of her and see
Yeah.
if
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, do that. Put the photo there because she'll the reaction will be priceless.
What I love about that is obviously she was such a prankster, and you said that she used to like cheat at cards, even though she was
Yeah.
playing against a tiny kid.
Yeah.
But the fact that she's convinced our third born, her to instead of calling you by Mummy, that she's made
Called
it
me
Nanny.
Nanny.
Oh, that is what a power play by Grandma from the other side.
I love it. And look, she's got her name, so hey,
Yeah.
you can't beat that.
Oh man, this has been so amazing.
Yeah,
are you,
this has
are you
been so
wiped
good.
out after all of this?
No, I'm excited. I'm ready to party now.
Oh.
It's only Wednesday.
Oh, Nanny's come through.
Get the sherry out. Can I ask an absolutely selfish question just before we finish?
I mean, yes. I was going to say no worries.
Just no. Okay, then see you. Bye. If
Go for it, Grant.
if they're so desperate to talk to us and like pass on messages, why doesn't any of them give us the bloody lotto numbers?
I'm still asking that question. I'm trying to work on it.
That was so good.
I know that's one of the most common questions I get asked, and I said, "Hey, if I could give them to you, don't you think I'd already have them?"
Yes, exactly. This has been so much fun.
It has been
we
so good.
Really appreciate your time. Give us your website again.
thecowgirlmedium.com.
All right.
Yeah, great. Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tonia. That was amazing. I think I can see lots of people sending messages, and that we'll probably end up doing this again like next season.
Like this
Don't you reckon?
podcast-
I would be honoured to.
It's
I'll be
reasonably
honoured too.
successful, but our most successful
reasonably
version of that was when we did sort of a ghost story one, and
Yeah,
we
they
spoke
did.
about what our children can see. And this is going to be just as successful, no doubt. So thanks for sharing your skills with us.
Yeah, thank you.
My pleasure. My
Love
absolute pleasure. I look forward to connecting. I'm sure we'll get to meet one day too.
I think
Yes,
George is looking
absolutely.
forward to never masturbating again. So
George is in
It's going to be a
shock.
long drought from now on.
That's so wrong.
all right, we'll leave you be.
Thanks, Tonia.
Okay.
Oh,
Bye.
bye. Oh my gosh, that
Holy
was full on. Oh, I feel really. I had so many more questions for
Oh,
her.
I don't know. I just felt like we're abusing her or something. You know what I mean? Like
We're abusing her.
tell us more. God damn it!
No, it was really good. We will get her back again, I think, and also I think that we should include her in our live show that we've not yet put together. But
Yeah, that would be amazing. And also, we did
tell
this
us where you want us to go.
to hell.
No, no. Tell, like if you're from Brisbane, say Brisbane.
Wow, this sounds like a great way to organise a tour.
Send us
That
some
should be the
birds.
promo.
Wow.
Send us some bird messages.
If you want us to tour, tell us where you are from and that. All right.
Say Brisbane. Brisbane.
Brisbane. Well, I'm sure the Frontier Tour Company will just respond personally after that.
Yeah,
It's
they
so
will.
well organised.
Yep, no worries.
There was some heavy themes discussed in today's podcast. We did talk about those who had passed in unfortunate circumstances, like suicide. So we probably should put the warning out there that if you are struggling or if you are having some difficulty navigating through your life, there are organisations like Lifeline that can help you out. They're always available. Great service. I don't have the number on me right now.
13, 11, 14.
Thank you, brother. 13, 11, 14, because you don't need to navigate this alone.
Yeah,
But that was so much fun.
that was really, really, really good. Like I didn't want it to stop. Actually, like I just wanted to keep
same.
asking.
But maybe if we get some feedback, right, on what people want to find out, either how she works or can you put me in contact with XYZ, or maybe we'll get her back and we'll answer everybody else's questions about this. So,
Oh, that's a good idea.
yeah, hit us up on, what is it they got to hit us up on?
I don't know.
No, where do you
On the
leave?
socials.
Oh, on the
reviews.
socials.
No, review. Yeah.
Oh yeah, leave us a review.
Leave us a review.
Oh, we
and-
didn't even read out any new reviews.
Oh,
my
mate,
gosh.
bugger it. Let's read them out next week. This is too hot. Send us what you would like to discuss and we'll get it back on and we'll see if we can connect you personally with whoever it is that you want to talk to on the other side.
Ooh,
Or
that's
any questions about how she works. What's her method? What can you do to better listen and look for signs from your loved ones that have passed?
yeah. That's a great idea.
What we've conclusively realised is that I'm okay to go back motor racing. So, yeah, baby.
Well, I think you've already decided that. So,
I'm back.
Yeah, and I'm off to go drink some sherry and spill some wine everywhere.
That's pretty close. The fact that your name is Chezzi is almost like
Sherry.
hello. Yeah.
I know. Yeah. It's insane. Crazy.
Did you enjoy it, George?
Yeah.
I really loved sitting back and just watching everything sort of go down in front of my very eyes. And I came to the conclusion that I'm not going to fiddle with myself from now on. So it's a win-win, isn't it?
That's terrible because people who don't know George and they've just tuned in for this, they'll actually think that he's serious, but he's not. He's like, he's real straight,
George
nice.
is a
He's not-
beautiful young man of the ripe old age of,
Nearly 21.
there you
Yeah.
go, right? So he's in the phase of
he's a
exploring
baby.
himself
He's
and
not.
discovering
Stop,
what the
Grant.
human body
Stop
is
giving him
capable
crap.
of, okay? So
Stop.
it's fine. It's a normal part of the process.
No, George, don't listen to him.
When we do our live show, I'll get it to read me then and see if there's anybody up there trying to say anything.
Yes. That's a good.
There's someone coming through now, George, and they have their hands over their eyes because of what they've seen.
Stop it. Stop it.
That's why I didn't want to ask anything in case I get completely exposed.
You can't tell me you haven't had that thought, though. Have you ever had that
No,
thought that what if
stop.
someone can see me?
Yeah, absolutely. When you're doing anything weird, you just go, shit, I really hope there's not a camera recording this or somebody
Yeah,
up there
exactly.
watching what's happening
If-
right
What
now.
are you doing? Because I don't ever have that thought.
Really?
Well, you
What
should.
about
I've
when
seen you do some stuff.
Yeah, or when you're reacting to the windmill, like...
Yeah, when
No.
I'm sort of doing the windmill out there.
Oh
and-
my gosh.
What about it? It's normal just relations of any adult kind.
Oh,
You know
I
what
don't
mean?
think that spirits are around watching me and
Mate, they
oh,
can
God.
see anything whenever they want.
Yeah, but as she said, it's not their priority. They're not like just hanging out going, they probably go, whoa, okay, this is getting a bit gross.
I might just sort of check out. I might just
I'm just
close the Zoom call. I don't know how they work, but
they just start whistling and looking out the window.
Because if they can see everything, and they even know what you're thinking, basically. I'm going to have to tidy up my thoughts.
Oh, my God. Quick. Yeah. Oh, and on that note, see ya.
It's been so much fun.
We love you.
Thanks for tuning in. We hope you're loving the podcast. Leave us some reviews and let us know what you would like us to do or who you'd like us to connect you with.
Oh, okay. It's the psychic hotline.
It's a psychic hotline.
Yeah. 1-800-356-474.
1-800-freak me the fuck out.
Okay. Goodbye.
Love you guys. Catch you next time.
Bye.
It's All True, the podcast with Grant and Chezzi Denya.
Bye bye.